5.6. Using multiplicative inverses to solve equations. Multiplicative inverse just means the reciprocal of a non-zero number. So if I give you a fraction 2/3, the multiplicative inverse would just be 3 over 2. Okay? Same thing as the definition of a reciprocal. And the product of 2/3 and its multiplicative inverse would just be 1. Okay, as illustrated in this box here. Okay, here we have equations. And I'm going to show you how to use the multiplicative inverse to solve for the variable x. Okay? So for part A, solving a one-step equation, again, our goal is to isolate the variable x. Alright? And we can do that by multiplying both sides by the multiplicative inverse of 4 over 7, which is 7 over 4. So let's do that. Alright, so I see we can cancel. And here we can first simplify negative 12 and 4. Okay, and negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. To answer. And for this one, the next one, 2 over 9x equals 12. To isolate the variable x, I can multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of 2 over 9, which is 9 over 2. Okay, and x would just be 254. Okay, here, again, let's multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of 5 over 7, which is 7 over 5. As you can see, I chose 5 over 7 because it is the coefficient of the variable and I'm trying to isolate the variable. So it wouldn't make sense if I take the multiplicative inverse of negative 9 over 14. Okay? And I'm going to just cancel this out. And then here, before I multiply, I can first simplify. Okay, and my final answer would be negative 9 over 10. Okay, and here I'm going to do the same thing. Multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of 2 over 5, which is 5 over 2. And then I can simplify 5 and 15, 2 and 8, and negative 1 and 1/3. Okay, and in the next part B, solving a two-step equation. Alright, this takes us back to chapter 2. Okay, except for the fact that we're dealing with fractions now. And again, our goal is to isolate the variable x. So let's first subtract 7. This is the first step of your equation. And the second step to solving this problem will be multiplying both sides by the multiplicative inverse of 4 over 9, which is 9 over 4. Okay? Cancel. X, and then we can first simplify 4 and 24. 6 times 9, 54. Okay? And then the next problem, again, we would add both sides by the opposite of negative 17. So that's the first step to solving our equation. And take down 7. Here, let me write this more neatly. 7 over 11x. 4 plus 17 is simply 21. And now we're going to multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of 7 over 11, which is 11 over 7. Okay, and then we can cancel this. And x would just be equal to 33. Okay, can you see how I first simplified 21 and 7? Okay. And 3 times 11 is 33. Okay, and for our next problem, I'm going to show you two ways. Okay, you can first subtract both sides by 4/5. Okay, cancel. Copy down negative 11 over 15x. And here you can see that we have different denominators, so we need to change it and rewrite it with the same denominator. So here, yeah, 15 times 5 times 5, 5 over 15. 15 times 3 times 3, negative 12. Negative 7 over 15. I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of negative 11 over 15, which is negative 15 over 11. Okay. Cancel, cancel. So, negative, negative is positive. So I'm okay. And then cancel, cancel. So your answer is 7 over 11. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you another way. All right. I'm going to rewrite negative 11 over 15 so that the negative sign is next to the 11 in the numerator. Okay, and 4 over 5ths equals 1/3. I see that I have three denominators, 15, 5, and 3, and the LCD between all three numbers is 15, so I'm going to multiply both sides by the LCD. Okay, 15, 15. Okay, and then I'm going to use the distributive property. Okay, 15 times negative 11 over 15x is negative 11x. 15 times positive 4 over 5 is positive 12. Okay, and here 1/3 times 15 is 5. And here I can subtract 12, give me negative 7, so again 7 over 11. So basically here I got rid of the denominators, okay? So I can work with whole numbers in this step, which makes life much easier. But if you don't think this way is easier for you, then you can use the other way. Again, I'm going to solve this according to the way you learned it, but here you're going to have different denominators again, 6 and 2. So we need to rewrite 1 over half, negative 1 over half as negative 3 over 6. Okay, so 5 subtract 3 is 2 over 6. We're going to multiply both sides by negative 3 over 2. Okay, cancel, cancel, cancel. P equals positive, negative, negative. Cancel, cancel. 3 to negative half. Okay? Now, the other way. Going to rewrite this equation as negative 2/3 p plus half equals 5 over 6. And the LCD between 3, 2, and 6 is just 6. Alright, and multiply both sides by 6. And let's do use of distributive property. 6 times negative 2/3 is negative 4p. 6 times positive half is just 3. And cancel this is 5. And negative 4p, subtract 3 here, be 2. And p will just be negative half as well. Okay, I prefer the second way. Okay, I like to get rid of my denominators. Okay, and let's take a look at this word problem, the Panama Canal. A canal just means waterway. Locks on the Panama Canal, so these are the locks here in the picture I drew, are used to move a ship from a higher elevation to a lower elevation. Okay, so we're moving from a high level to a lower level. Okay, and when a ship enters a lock chamber on the canal, water is allowed to spill out the lock chamber. So the water here, all right, spills out. Okay, until the water levels in the two chambers are equal. Okay, so in order to let this ship flow to the next chamber, here's chamber 1, chamber 2, water needs to spill out so the levels are equal. Okay, let me use a black color so they're equal. Okay, and as water spills out of the chamber, the depth changes at a rate of about 3.5 feet per minute until the water level is 41 feet. Okay, so we're moving from 72 feet and dropping to 41 feet. So that is, what? 41 minus 72, drop of 31 feet total. And our question is, how many minutes does it take for the depth to change from 72 to 41 feet? Okay, so we need to use the RTD, rate times time equals distance, equation. So we're given a rate of -3.5, and we're looking for the time and the distance, -31. And here we can cancel out the signs, negative, negative, positive, right? Okay, so 7/2 here, t equals 31, and then we can take the reciprocal of 7/2, which is 2/7. Okay, cancel, 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 cancel. This is 62/7, and we can rewrite this as a mixed number. So 8 and 6/7 minutes. That's it.